FVCFFFLFFS, episode 14.
14, yeah, first week of the playoffs, episode
weeks.
1-4.
Did you ever think we'd get to episode 14?
I did not.
And I didn't think we could ever top last week's intro when you were Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't do anything this week.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to, yeah.
But we do have a quick question. Since it is the holiday season, and I know all of you guys out there love to celebrate this holiday more than any others, it is called Festivus.
Yes.
What are the things you remember about Festivus? There is the
Festivus poll.
The feats of strength.
And the airing of the grievances.
And the airing of the grievances. So our quick question tonight in this episode is, Aaron, it's your chance to air your grievances about fantasy football this year. Ready? Go.
So there are a number of grievances that I could bring up. And I will start with this, going back to one of the earliest episodes. I am really not a fan of how Devontae Adams did me this year.
Yeah, he did not.
Really not a fan.
Injured, not passing
because he
as much.
Single-handedly hosed me at the beginning of the year, ruined the first half of the year, and I will also not leave Robert Woods out of that because both of them
those were your top two
stunk
receivers?
So bad the first half of the year that it killed me. And it was really disappointing because my running backs were doing fine at that time, which was David Johnson and Austin Eckler. That was their big part of the season. And by the time the wide receivers came back, then David Johnson was crap. And this has just been an unbelievably disappointing fantasy year for me. There has been absolutely nothing to cheer for. And if I could, I would give the entire NFL a Screw You award, similar to what I did on a previous episode.
Wasn't it true, though, that this week both David Johnson and Robert Woods got touchdowns?
This week, David Johnson actually came back and put up points after having been benched for a couple of weeks and not getting any snaps. And it doesn't even matter because nobody was playing David Johnson at that point. I actually played Robert Woods. But again, it doesn't matter because I'm already out of the playoffs by the time anybody started playing football. It's been ridiculous.
So, from us to all of you, we want you to know that during this holiday season, if you need to air your grievances about your fantasy team, please do so. Just not to Aaron.
Merry Festivus.
Let's get to our matchups. And we've got two amazing matchups this week. And I am doing the first one. It's our playoff game. And it was Saquon versus Machine versus Give Me Style. Ryan versus Rick. Now, going into this, it did not look good. Rick had a losing record, I think 6-7 going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ryan at 8-4 and had been number one in the power rankings, number one in the league. And unfortunately, Ryan lost. He only got 76 points.
Yeah.
But Rick, 105 points, coming up big. So Ryan is playing for 5th place in the playoffs against the other loser we'll get to in a second. But Rick is in the final 4, of which, let's give him a hand. Good job, Rick. All year, I don't think Rick thought he was going to do well, but he's in the top 4.
I didn't think it was possible, Rick. I didn't think it was possible.
But we are giving this award, special combo award, to Ryan. You need to turn up.
It's a little quiet.
Your favorite part? We're giving Ryan not only that award, but... Wait, there's more. Ryan this week gets the Cabusta Scratcher Award because he is the caboose, coming in at 76 points of all the teams who are actually playing the game. And he got the bust for Will Fuller, who got him 0 points. But he gets the head scratcher for Will Fuller because Will Fuller was inactive for this game. Now, also not playing well for Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, 11 points. Saquon Barkley, 8 points.
Yeah.
But starting Will Fuller, getting him 0 points, gives him the bust and the head scratcher award. And only having 76 points and losing in the first playoff game. Not so good for Ryan's season this year. So he's on to try to play for 5th place. But he went up against Rick, who gets the gets the Stud Award, but he also gets the Juggernaut. So Rick this week gets the Stuggernaut because he's the stud, and the Juggernaut for all the players who played in actual games this week in our league. Deshaun Watson, 28 points was the stud this week of all players who played in games. 28 points, almost 300 yards a passing touchdown, 44 rushing yards. Now, his team lost, his real team, but in fantasy that really helped Rick. But he also got 105 points, because that is the most of any of the 4 teams in the playoffs, which means Dave and Jeremiah might have an easy way to the championship. But for this week, what matters most of all is Rick gets a Juggernaut, Rick got the stud, Rick is going on to play the Final Four.
Congratulations, Rick!
Good job, Rick. Oh, I forgot one thing. We'll put him down.
You know what the Juggernaut does?
What does he do?
Rams into things.
He did every time. I'm not ready. I got a prize for you.
Okay.
Since you were airing the grievances, I got you Abby and Isaac this week.
That.
And the reason I did that is because in the youth league, because Aaron commissions our youth league, they both won, and so they're in the Final Four. You got 2 of your kids in the Final Four in the fantasy football playoffs. That's pretty good. The problem is he lost to Isaac in the youth league playoffs. Anyways, you've got another matchup for us,
yes,
Mr.
So the other matchup is Mixin Mania.
John and
Randy versus Minshew Mania. A couple of maniacs on the floor.
I waited if you're gonna go there.
Yes,
but here's the thing.
Matchup.
He's Minshew Mania, but I actually have Greg Minshew on my team.
Greg.
What's his name?
Gardner?
Gardner.
That's the second time you called him Greg. Like, who the heck is Greg Minshew? But yes, you have Gardner on your team?
Yeah.
Well, then why is he still called Minshew?
Because he likes Greg.
Andy, what?
He likes Greg Minshew.
So it's no wonder you lost this week, Andy.
See, look right here.
You can't call your team Minshew Mania when he's not even on the team. That's the fantasy football gods getting back at you. So anyway, John, you pulled off the W this week, 102.8 points versus Andy with 86.4 points.
That's not good.
Andy saved his biggest week for the first round of the playoffs. So we're actually going to do Andy's awards first here, okay? So for Andy, we gave him a couple of awards. So we'll start with this one.
Bueller.
Have you seen
Bueller?
Yeah, I haven't seen him. And this award.
Whoops-a-daisy. Whoops-a-daisy.
So the combination of those things make it a left me hanging daisy. And this is because of a couple of things. Boy, what a week for Andy's team to leave him hanging in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes only 14 points. Leonard Fournette only 8 points. Mark Andrews only 2 points. And he left Allen Robinson on the bench, who scored 20-some points, 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. Huge week for Allen Robinson.
That's
and actually, that was
with Greg Minshew.
And actually, that was the difference between Andy winning this matchup and losing this matchup. So that's a tough way to go out, Andy. I feel bad for you.
I want to see. Oh, you got another thing.
Now on to John and Randy's award. Here we go. The league has been leading up to this all year long. And I hope that you are ready for this, because I'm going to share with you some numbers. And we're talking about a player who had 146 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 40 receiving yards in a loss to the Cleveland Browns. 27.1 fantasy points, which took you guys into the first win of the playoffs. And the award for these two this week is the Joe Mixon MVP Award.
MVP.
Randy, I want to ask you a question. Do you like apples? Because how do you like them apples? That Joe Mixon is the player that brings you for your first win of the playoffs. So congratulations to you for the Joe Mixon MVP Award.
I'm just excited that Randy gets to savor this moment along with me. Because Randy literally hates Joe Mixon. I think if he met him, he'd slap him in the face.
Probably. Or throw water on it.
Can you see him just going like, hey, Joe Mixon?
Right.
He probably would do that. But he took us into the playoffs, which is what's important. But next comes our most important segment. This segment is going to take us to the top.
Okay.
So, we're looking forward to the playoffs, and we're going to start with the Final Four. There's 2 games this week to go to the championship round.
Yes, there is.
And it's Mixon Mania versus Pack of Badgers, and it's also 11 Stranger Things against Give Me Style. So let's start. Jeremiah versus Rick. 11 Stranger
Number 1
Things
versus number 5.
Give Me Style. Who is going to win this game?
I am going, unfortunately, with 11 Stranger Things. I think Jeremiah has a really strong team at the end of the year, and I think he's going to take it.
The problem is Jeremiah has a really amazing team. He's getting lots of points all the time.
See, Jeremiah's team sucked all year, and he wound up getting wins to get in the playoffs, and just unbelievable.
Now, I'm going to be rooting for Rick, as I'm sure
I'm
you will
going
be
to
too.
be rooting for Rick as
but
well.
we just can't pick him to win. Which leads us to the match of all matchups. You love to hate him, Pack of Badgers versus Mixon Mania. So, who do you think's going to win, me or Dave?
Pack of Badgers is going to take this one. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a low-scoring defensive affair. I'm predicting 48 points for Mixon Mania and 52 for Pack of Badgers in a tight one where Dave takes it at the end.
48-52.
Yes.
Now, I know you did some acting in high school.
I did.
Can you give us your reaction if I actually won against Pack of Badgers? It was me versus Dave,
That's a
and
good
I
one.
actually win. What would your reaction be?
I would be like, what?
All right.
And then I would be like, Dave!
We have a couple of other matchups, okay? Playing for the consolation bracket, we
For
have...
those of us who are in it, the losers bracket.
It is you versus Nathan, and I think you are actually going to beat the briefcase.
I think I'm going to win, Nathan. You're in trouble.
And then we have Judah, my dad is old, versus Brian
Yes.
in Nation. I think Judah's actually going to win.
Judah's going to win.
Because Brian seemed to
And it's going to be me and
checked out
Judah
a
fighting
little
for
bit.
the crown that doesn't matter at all.
Speaking of doesn't matter, next week it is Minshew Mania versus Saquon versus
That's correct.
the Machine.
And that's
for
the
fifth
most
place.
exciting matchup of the year. Fighting for 5th place. So
Speaking of
Yeah.
exciting matchups, it is time for the Power Rankings.
Power Rankings!
Coming in at number 10, Noob Nation.
Yes!
I'm not sure where his head's at.
I don't know either. I'm not sure that he's looking at his team.
Yeah, I think he's kind of quit playing altogether. Which means number 9 is your opponent, the briefcase himself. He has potential
Like I said,
to not
you're going
finish
down.
last.
You're going down, Nathan.
Well, all he's got to do is lose to you and then win against Noob Nation, and then
Okay.
he could get 9th place
Okay.
next week. So I think
Okay.
that coming in at number 8 in Power Rankings, the guy who teases me like no other, Judah. My dad is old. I don't know how he's number 8 because he stinks.
Yeah,
His team's just really
it's
bad.
rough.
But this should cheer you up. Coming in at number 7 is the Adams Warlocks.
Yay!
You're the best of the worst.
Yeah,
So you should get 7th place.
whatever.
Okay. Coming in at number 6, unfortunately, it was him versus the league and versus Lost. Saquon versus Machine.
Ouch!
He's been headed in the wrong direction for some time, and that looks like it's going to end
How
up being
the
number
tables have turned.
6. Coming
How
in
the
at number
turns have
5 is Greg Minshew's favorite team.
Yes.
Minshew Mania.
Yes.
I think he needs to hire a gardener for his mustache. He should have beaten me. He's got a better team than I do. And it's his first loss. He had 6 wins in a row until this week. And Joe Mixon
Man,
brought him down.
That stinks.
It is Minshew Mania
That
at number
stinks.
5, which takes us to the
Ah.
final 4.
Yes.
Who do you think?
I think that we need to give Andy a chance to air grievances on the next show.
Andy, if you are around us, we'll record your airing
Yeah,
of the
if you
grievances.
record,
or
if you record an airing of the grievance for us and send it to us,
we will
put
it
it on next time for you.
Because coming in at number 4, at the bottom of the final 4, is Mixon Mania. Because I really don't think I can win. If I'm riding Joe Mixon in the playoffs, I don't think it's going to end well for me. I think he left it all on the field last week, and he won't have anything else for this week. It's not going to be good. Which brings us to number 3, and if this team made it to number 3, it would be a huge victory, and he still could win more, but we kind of doubt it. It is Give Me Style Rick.
Richard
Rick has been getting better and better each
Yes.
week. He always had pretty good teams. He just had rotten luck.
Yeah.
At least he's better than me. His team's better than mine. Maybe he's not as good as the other two, but he's in the final 4. So Rick coming in at number 3. All right. That leads us to number 2 in the power ranking. It's the most hated team in the league. He likes to call himself the people's champion. It is Pack of Badgers Dave. Dave has been number 1 most of the year, so of course that means right now he's number 2.
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Which leads us at first place in the power rankings. It's 11 Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I think he's going to win. His team is going off the planet. And unfortunately, he may be a 3-time champion, which...
That's the most disappointing part of the whole thing.
Yeah. It's really disappointing. Speaking of disappointing, this is the end of the show.
See you next time.
His little head. It's still going. That was awesome.
Pretty good.
The things that amuse us. Oh, I have the scripts, don't I?
I like his teeth.
I think we need a light bright, and that would solve all of our problems.
Yes. I had one of those too.
I was in kindergarten.
That's probably about when I got mine also.
Because you're 40?
42.
42? I always think you're younger than what you are. Because of your maturity.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's because of the gray beard.
Listen, if I could grow a beard, do you know how gray it would be? Very gray.
Yeah.
Well, when you've got hair like this, you need to make sure it's good.
That's right. It's very important.
I just need all the help I can get is basically what it is.
Yep.
Let's give a, I don't know if a standing ovation, but we can clap for Rick that he actually is in the Final Four, because, I mean, it's just incredible.
We could say that.
Because Ryan and Andy were both like 8-4 or whatever, and both.
Yeah. We'll say that the surprise of the week is that you and Rick both won.
That's exactly what it is. So what I want to do is do a Festivus airing of the grievances because I just heard it on the show upstairs. So I'll let you
All right. Yeah.
air your grievances. Is that you think that'll work? All right. So I'm first. So it's Combust to Scratcher.
The Festivus pole, the feats of strength, and the airing of the grievances. I find that I really enjoy reading when I do it.
There's so much going against you.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, you ready?
Yeah. Wah, 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 and we're back.